It's time to focus on seniors with Helping Seniors TV. The television show designed to make you aware of senior issues and needs, as well as to acquaint you with the resources available to help you age in place and with dignity. Now, here's your host, Joe Steckler.
I'm Joe Steckler, and welcome to Helping Seniors, the television arm of Helping Seniors of Brevard County. Our show is designed to provide you with information on how to develop your own aging and care plan. Our topic today is Spotlight Magazine. Joining me is Bryan McDonough, who is the publisher of Spotlight Magazine. Welcome, Bryan.
Well, thank you, Joe, for having me here on your show today.
Glad to have you here. Have you ever done a television show before?
Never. This is my first time.
You ever done a radio show?
Nope. I do magazines.
How in the world can you do a magazine and not be involved on radio or TV before? It's amazing.
I don't know. That's why I'm here today. And you're going to guide me through this process.
I don't think I have to guide you through. You're a smart guy.
That would be fun.
Well, but you know, television is a real important resource for seniors.
Yes.
And you asked me some questions about the questions I wanted to ask you. Mm-hmm. And you asked me, is Spotlight doing something to help you accomplish what you said you wanted to do in those questions? Remember that?
I remember that, yes.
But you are. See, it's so important. The more seniors see articles that I write or other articles that pertain to senior needs, or they see good advertising of services they think they need themselves. See, there's quite a bit of difference, Bryan, and I might be preaching to the choir and saying this to you because you sell advertising as a way to pay. That's how we pay our bills. That's how you pay on your business. But if a senior looks in Spotlight Magazine and sees continued advertising of certain companies that provide services to seniors, they'll think a couple things. Mm-hmm. The person is getting business from the advertising they're doing, or they're a pretty good outfit that's willing to spend money to advertise so people know what they're doing. So the more people know what you're doing, the chances are that if I get a service from you, that's going to be a good, honest, legal, viable service. That make sense?
That makes sense.
That's why I told you when I said, Bryan, you're doing already everything that we would like to have you do in Spotlight Magazine because you're helping us to connect to readers.
It's all about the readership. It really is.
It's all about
readership. At the end of the day, without a good, strong readership, I have nothing. I just have another magazine sitting on the shelf. So we strive for good readership.
Right. So what we do complements each other.
Yes, it does.
If a senior doesn't know about all the good services that are available, and see, I think that Bryan McDonough would be a smart guy if he looks harder at all the things seniors need, mm-hmm. because Brevard County has 51% senior citizens living here. So, and your magazine, how did you get started in doing all this in the first place? How did you get started?
That's a good story. If I would have gone back and asked myself, would I be running a magazine today? I would have said, no way, because I didn't have a clue what I was doing when I first started this magazine. We had another business at the time called Graphics and More, where we did business cards, resumes for people and stuff like that. And we wanted to advertise our business, to get more business, of course. Well, as I went around to place ads in different periodicals and stuff like that, I couldn't afford to do it on a consistent basis to make it worthwhile, because you need to be consistent. But whatever you do, radio, TV, right, whatever you got to do, you got to be consistent. But we were just a mom and pop business and we had no money. So we came up with the idea, why don't we produce our own publication, make it affordable, get it out there to the people, and make it different than everybody else. Make it affordable for the Avon lady can actually place an ad in our magazine too. And that's what we did. So imagine this. I had a traditional job. I got off work at 5 o'clock. I would change my clothes. I would go out and sell advertising to business owners that were ready to go home, had a long day, and I'm out there trying to sell advertising. Now, the funny thing about that is nobody told me I couldn't do it. I didn't know any better. So I went out and made it happen. And we came out with our very first issue on time. We made a profit, and we've just been going forward ever since.
How long have you been publishing Spotlight, Bryan?
Since 1996.
96?
96. One piece of paper in a dream. It was folded with an insert in it. I think we were only doing maybe a couple thousand at the time, and it was very localized. But I had a good time doing it, and I had faith in what I was doing, and I just connected with the right people. And we gave our readership what they wanted.
Bryan, you'll appreciate this. I'm a retired Navy captain, 38 years in the military. I come to Brevard. I end up starting the Brevard Alzheimer's Foundation and putting this old car raffle in place. And we got AJ Hires, the Boniface Hires, got the cars for us. And I would take that old car, I'd go out to Casey's statue there at the ballpark.
Yep.
Here I am. At the time, I guess I was about 65 or 66. And here I am selling tickets, barking tickets. And I go up to the Daytona, to the Speedway. And we go in there the night before and park the car. And I remember the first time I went up there, I went back. There's so many cars, I couldn't find our car.
You got lost.
I was lost. But here I am selling tickets. I'm going to all these places. I'm selling tickets on a car. And I started raffles and starting all these things with an eye toward providing a product that the potential donor would donate to by purchasing a raffle ticket to help us pay our way to help people. You've done the same thing with advertising.
Yeah.
That's honest work. You work hard for it. And from what I see, I look at the back of this thing, and if you see it, folks, it's Health First. If Health First didn't think that they were getting value for their product, they wouldn't be buying the back page. Yeah. So it's important that you provide a good product.
Thank you.
That's extremely important. That's the same thing we do with helping seniors. Our product is information and education, and that's why I felt it was so important. How do you, a publisher of a magazine, how do you select your stories? What do you think about what you promote in your magazine to potential readers? Okay, this is how I go about doing it. It's all about great readership. So I'm constantly looking to see what our readers would like to see in their magazine. So I do surveys, I do different contests, I do a lot of questions and answers to be able to put in the magazine what they're looking for. Because at the end of the day, if I'm not giving what the readers want, they're going to pick something else up. So I'm constantly looking around. And that's why we do our contests and things like that. And it's a lot of fun doing it that way too. Do you do surveys? Yes, we do some different surveys from time to time. Where, either online, in the magazine? Sometimes we do them in our magazine, and sometimes we do them online as well. What kind of a return do you get from online surveys? Oh, I get a huge back. You do? Even with some of our contests, we run different contests to track what's going on in the magazine and to make sure that our readership are seeing our advertisers. And I'll get anywhere from a couple hundred each month on a particular contest that we're running, which is also a survey, so I can find out who they are, the basic age, so I know who's picking up the magazine. I get a very good response from the different things that we do. So when I finally get a place to market our sponsorship for our Jaguar that we're going to raffle, when I come to you and say, Bryan, can you put this on your net and help me sell tickets for the charitable thing? You got to come work for me because you're selling me right now. It's a beautiful car. In your spare time, why don't you come work for me too, okay? It's a beautiful car. It's a Jaguar, you say, huh? It's a Jaguar. It's a 1992. Yeah. With only 38,000 miles. It's not even broken in yet. You're just giving that thing away. You're exactly right. Yeah. I had somebody tell me they take that old car over to the car auction and sell it for $3,000 or $4,000. I said, I'll take it and sell $100,000 worth of raffle tickets on it. And I said, you can keep yours. I'll do it the way I know it'll work. And your answer is yes. I'd be more than happy to help you. Yeah. When you do that, I'll help you. But it's a belief in following a dream, Bryan. And that's exactly what you've done, because A small magazine like that is not an easy thing to do. I've done it. I know what putting a newsletter together is. I know what it is to mail stuff out. I know what it is to mail tickets out. I know all those things. I know what you've gone through to do this. I suspect that Spotlight has become a fixture for a lot of people to read.
It has. And you know what I tell people a lot? With our magazine here, a lot of different groups that I speak for and things like that, I'm honest. I say the more fun that I have with this magazine and helping people, the better I do. If I start treating this like a traditional job, it's going to show. So the more fun I'm having, the better magazine is doing.
Well, you can tell that from the articles you have in there, especially if you publish my articles.
Yeah, your article's in there pretty much every month now. If not, I'm getting a phone call asking why it's not in there.
Well, I know that. I know why it isn't in there. And you have a good counter. Well, I didn't have a space, but I put it on my internet.
Yeah. Thinking of our internet, with our magazine now is, I'm smart enough, like what we were talking about. If I'm smart enough to have your article, now I'm smart enough to do some other things too. I love print, but I know I also got to be in these other areas too, like my website, Facebook, Instagram. So we have an awesome website, and I'll plug it, spotlightbrevard.com. You can go there. You're going to see the whole magazine online. You can click on it. It'll open up to a full version on the magazine. There's lots of advertising opportunities on our website that is dirt inexpensive. I can help anybody that's serious about advertising. There's a lot of articles that are on our website that are not even in the magazine. So I'm constantly looking and putting things out there to get the interest up and to get the activity in our hard copy and on our website.
Yeah.
And it's
but
fun.
There's been a lot said about seniors not going on the internet or not doing it, but that's pretty much been debunked over the last couple of years.
Well, look at it this way. I'm getting older. I'm getting close to be that senior. They sent me an AARP card in the mail already, okay? So I'm going to be a senior, and I'm all over the internet. So this is the wave, so people are getting more and more in tune to the internet right now.
Yes, they are.
And I already got a bunch of grandchildren, and I know you got some great grandchildren already yourself. But I'm becoming a senior, so I've got to cater to myself as I get older too. But yes, you're right. There is a lot of seniors that are a little bit slow in it, but there's a lot of seniors that are on the internet too.
Yeah, I think the estimate was now that 70% of senior citizens are involved with the internet now.
Yeah. Sure.
And that we became more aware of that because when we were in our former location, Kay was teaching a computer class.
Right.
And we had 4 computers that we were teaching people how to operate, and she always had people standing in line waiting to learn to take the 2 or 3 week course in how to operate the computer.
It's a great tool.
Yep. How do you feel about Spotlight connecting to senior citizens, and promoting seniors, senior programs, in other words, advocating as being part of a network? And the reason I say that, Bryan, is because we have a thought in mind, our Helping Seniors does, about trying to convince the county commissioners to take the Space Coast television channel, the government channel,
right,
and making it an elder-friendly network. And everybody I've talked to liked that idea. We could put things from Spotlight Magazine,
right,
Senior Scene Magazine, Hometown News, all the printed media that are carrying things that have to do with senior citizens, the fairs that come up, so that there's a cross-readership, cross-reference, and I think it's a way of the community giving back, and then the government giving back to the community.
I like to be a part of that, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's a win situation for everybody.
It is. It's all about educating people. The more information we get out there in all these different medias, it's going to educate us, and it's going to educate. People don't know what they don't know. So it's our job with radio, TV, and what we're doing here today is to educate the people what's available out there for them, so they do have the resources to be able to go to.
What do you think, as a publisher of a magazine, what do you think are some of the things or have you thought about ways we could improve communications for seniors?
Well, we're doing it right now. You submit articles with us each month. We're putting them in our magazine and online. This is a great way that we can get our readership to be in tune to what's going on with the seniors. Because let's face it, my parents are gone now, but I've had parents that were seniors, of course, and we take care of them. So I need to know what's available out there, and our readership needs to know what's out there to be able to help our parents that are getting older. And with the articles that you submit with us and everything, it's just a wonderful way of doing it.
Well, one of the questions I had, you asked me what I meant by, and I put on there, I called new terminology, and I had what we called inbound media and outbound.
I had to Google that just so I knew what you were talking about.
What did you get out of it?
Well, it turns out I'm already doing it without even realizing I'm doing it. For all the different ways that I get the magazine and the word out there through the hard copy, the internet, Google, and all these things. I'm already doing a lot of that,
right?
Versus the old school way of doing, which I still up print, but that's just, I'm already doing it. So it's really great.
You are doing it,
yeah.
But it's important for more people to realize what is available through all the media programs we have available to us. Because if we have programs in Brevard County, I refer to them what I call elements of care.
Okay.
It's like I say, the cheapest way to care for a senior citizen is to keep them in their own home. That's the cheapest way. In order to keep them in their own home longer, we might send them out to adult day health care.
Sure.
Or we might have a lower assistance, like Seniors Helping Seniors.
Very good.
Might have them come into the home to help them. Then it may need a point where they need a little medical care. You can have like Living Home Care. They come in and they can help them take a shower. They can help them give their medicines and things like that. We're still talking about $32 for a 2-hour block of service,
right? As
opposed, even just a hit and miss assisted living place now is $3,000 to $4,000 a month, which is the low end. High end assisted living is $6,000 to $7,000. Nursing home care now is average of $9,000 a month. Yeah. So we can take all these elements of care, and then we have skilled nursing care, which is paid for by Medicare. And if the doctor thinks that person could benefit from the in-home skilled nursing care, they order it. Right. So it's paid for by the government. So we can help keep that person in a home longer. All those kind of things are advertised, talked about in your magazine.
Yes, they are.
Or on your internet. And that's where you get the inbound, outbound.
Yep.
If people come to us looking for the services, we in turn can help educate, connect, and inform them about services that are available, which drives down the cost of care, keeps people in their home longer, and makes everybody happier.
It's a win-win.
It's a win situation. It really is. So, but a question I hear, too often we forget about the value of human networking and the printed word. And I think you've held your magazine up a couple of times. Seniors like to read.
Yes, they do.
We have more time to read. The younger generation, they're on Facebook, Twitter. My grandchildren, they're always sending text messages. I just don't do that. I go crazy. I have enough problem just with the telephone and staying off that thing. But if I was constantly getting thumb and carpal tunnel syndrome, I would be in trouble. But people like to read a good magazine in a dentist's office. And one thing I meant to ask you, where all in the county is Spotlight Magazine?
Oh, we're roughly in over 470 locations throughout South Brevard County. I target a lot of doctor's office, anywhere people got to sit and wait. They love to be able to pick these things up because usually the magazines that are already there, they're old and this is current information. So doctor's offices, movie theaters, chambers of commerce. We actually target the people who live here with the magazine because those are the ones that are going to be going to see, the different painters and the different advertisers that we have in the book. But anywhere there's a lot of people traffic.
Do you find people take the magazine, read it, and leave it someplace else? You find that a lot?
Yes, I do. And I hear different stories all the time. It's really neat. Sometimes I get people to call me up. to ask me about a certain ad, and I'm looking at the magazine, and I'm saying, well, what page is that on? And it's from 3 months ago. So the shelf life of our magazine is very good too, because the type of content that we have in there, people hang on to it.
Well, I'm thinking about the article that I have in there that you published that I wrote this time. It is, it's information that is not going to change.
Right.
It's here, and that's a benefit about having organizations like ours in your magazine, because what we promote all the time is the connection to information, the connection to education, and the connection to connecting.
Yeah.
And that's so important because senior citizens, at times of my generation, are more reluctant to accept help. And one of the questions I had posed for you was in the terms of elder advocacy, and Brevard has long proposed or professed itself as an elder-friendly community.
Right.
I think that we've got to be an elder-friendly community because of magazines, publishers like you, who are today helping us, the radio, the television, the Bright House helping us, the Space Coast Government Channel, all the government and resources, private enterprises are willing to give us time to say, here's what's available to help. So if we really want to promote an aging plan in this community, or making elder services more, making the elder community more informed about what is available, we need the printed stuff.
Right.
We need, so people have to have some, like you say, they sit in a doctor's office and they'll pick something up and they'll read it, and, which is an advantage.
And they'll take it home too. That's what I like about it.
Yeah. What have been some of your more, you're blocked off my, I can't read my own book here. But what were some of your more enjoyable experiences of being the publisher of Spotlight Magazine, Bryan?
For me, it's not always about the money. I like to give back as much as I can, so I do a lot of stuff for nonprofit groups and things like that. Or if I even hear of a business that's in trouble and they're struggling real hard, if I can help them, I will. Because at the end of the day, I got to look in the mirror and feel good about what I'm doing, you know. And many a times I get people that walk up to me almost on a weekly basis that are thanking us for the type of publication that we produce each month, because they can tell it's not just about making money. I do a lot of stuff for local churches and things like that. It's all about giving back. And that's what makes me feel good about what I do.
There's nothing wrong with making money and doing what you're doing to provide a service. And too many people, I've had people say, Joe, you're a nonprofit. Why are you charging for that? Or why are you doing this? I said, yes, we're a nonprofit. But I still have to raise money in order to pay the people that need to live and eat just the same as you do. And this is what some people, not a lot, but some people that could be very good donors to nonprofit organizations, they're very willing to take, but they're not as willing to give. They're more reticent. And I had mentioned to Bryan folks what we call our media sponsors and provider network. Bryan's already a media sponsor, because what he does for us, what you do for our organization and other nonprofits, is you provide an in-kind service that saves us thousands of dollars in having to pay for advertising costs, which we don't have the money to do. But at the same time, you have sponsors in Spotlight Magazine that may well want to become part of our provider network, because we're trying to put a network together, folks, that will have roughly 100 businesses, if it's more, a little less, but we want roofers, air conditioning people, handymen, case managers, people that provide a service to elders. We want to know about them in advance. We want to be able to showcase them on our own information network, so that when seniors call Kay for help and say, I need a roofer,
Yeah.
And they might say, but I can't pay for it.
Yeah.
They probably never have thought they could take a line of credit or a reverse mortgage the right way on their home and take $10,000 and put a new roof on their house, and it wouldn't cost them a cent.
Yeah.
What it would just mean is they wouldn't have $10,000 to leave to their kids. So what's more important? Having a dry roof to have a dry house to live in, or providing more money for children?
Yeah, well, I agree with you on that. Even when my father was alive, I told him, I said, don't worry about us. Use the money for you. It's your money. Enjoy it. Use it for what you need for. We'll be fine.
That's exactly. And I say the same thing to our children. But I think more people need to realize that, and more people need to realize that nonprofit organizations, they do a lot of good in the community, and if people didn't have them, there would be a lot more people hurting. Because I know from the calls we get, we had one day we had three paraplegics call us.
Wow.
3 women, and one was dying of cancer, and nobody talked to her. She talked to Kate. Wow. We are almost out of time. What would the publisher of Spotlight magazine say to seniors? You got 30 seconds.
What I would say to seniors, first of all, thank you very much for picking up our magazine each month and enjoying us and calling our advertisers and helping to support them. What I like to do is continue doing what we're doing, get the word out there that, we're all getting older and more mature, so we need to get the word out there to be able to help people. And I'm just happy to be a part of this community and doing that.
You have 5 seconds left, so
I ran out of time.
No, you're not going to talk anymore. Thank you, Bryan. And I hope that our readers have enjoyed listening to the two of us talk today, because I've enjoyed talking to you.
I enjoyed it too. Thank you much.
Thank you. I want to thank you, viewer, for watching today's episode of Helping Seniors. I hope you've enjoyed meeting Bryan McDonough, publisher of Spotlight magazine. I'm Joe Steckler. Thank you for joining our program today. I'd like to remind you that our senior information line is available to you at 321-473-7770. There you can get help and direction that could be helpful for your specific situation or circumstances. The work of helping seniors is very important, but we can't do it alone. That is why our sponsors here in Brevard County are so important. I'd like to thank our many area sponsors, businesses and medical providers who support the mission of helping seniors that help us carry the cost of our media efforts. If you'd like to join us either as a business partner or simply donate as an individual, we would welcome your call at 321-473-7770. You are always welcome to visit our website at www.helpingseniorsofbrevard.org. Thanks so much for your help. It does make a difference.